All right. Hello, Connected Empowerment. This is Tony Hightower. I'm back again. And today we have a very special guest. I'm here with my nephew, Brandon Haskovec. And Brandon is wanting to do an interview with us just to give us a little bit of his story. And he's got a pretty powerful one as always. And of course, I'm slighted because he is, in fact, my nephew. So, Brandon, tell us a little bit about yourself. What do you like to do?
Well, I like to work on cars mostly because that's what I grew up doing in my free time.
In your free time?
Um, yep. Um, I'm really big into sports, so
Okay.
that's what I like to do on my free time, though.
What kind of sports do you do?
um, I did football, track, and basketball in high school, and I played a little bit of football in college too.
Very
Um, yep.
So how was it growing up for you, Brandon? Especially from rural Iowa, right? So you're out in the country in the middle of nowhere and of course small schools and everything else. So how was
Yep.
it for you being biracial? How was that?
Well, it was super confusing because you got one group of people telling you're not with them, and then you got the other group of people not telling the same thing, and so it's super confusing. And but you get called every racist name in the book, from just walking in the hallways in schools, and I being from smaller towns and going to smaller schools, the kids don't have much of diversity, you know. So that was really tough for me and my siblings to go through. So, um, but we worked through it and got through it. Especially when we moved to in 2015, we moved to Pine City, uh, I think even smaller country town. Um, and I just remember walking in the front doors, with my with my two other siblings, and you just we could just feel the eyes just staring, three biracial kids walking into the school, and but it took a while for um, for me to open up in school, and because I'm already a shy kid, and
Yes.
that already on top of that, so but met some pretty cool people after that, and that made it better. But every now and then, you hear something in the hallways, and so
So I mean, that just blows my mind. So walking through the hallway, and I know obviously you guys are my nephews, so I know you well, and you're such sweet kids. I can't imagine just like people calling you names because of the color of your skin. It just blows my mind, and I can't imagine that, and I'm so sorry. If I would have known, I would have went to school with you and helped take care of that, but I didn't know. So how did that, I mean, how did you get through that? Because obviously, you're a great kid, you get done very well, very athletic, getting ready to go into the army, just very, very successful in life. But how did that set you back? How did that make you feel going through? And I'm sure you were pulled, like you said, white people say I'm not white enough, black people say I'm not black enough, and here I'm in the middle trying to figure out who I am. How was that? How did that all make you feel?
uh, it made me feel not connected and with my peers. It always made me feel like I was lower than them, and so and already moving a lot, it helped. It was hard because we were already back in education, uh, so we were for a little bit behind already from our classmates. So that didn't help at all. But I we just over time, it just thinking about um, just thinking about it a lot because I'm thinking about it every day, and just admit that I'm a mixed boy, and that's what I am. I don't like to say that I'm black or I'm white. I like to just say that I'm mixed because that's what I am.
So you
So,
you identify with both races?
yep, yeah,
And that's good, right? You get the best of both worlds and then, get to be the beautiful
yeah.
boy that you are. Brandon, I know you're getting ready to go in the army. What do you fear about that move? Like, what is it that you fear most about maybe going into the military?
Um, Probably that I won't get accepted. Um, I know that I'm gonna have to work harder than most other people, but I'm willing to do so. Um, but I mean, throughout growing up, it I feel like it prepared me for it. So, you know, I'm ready. I mean, call me all you want, but I'm gonna get through it.
That's right, because you're a strong guy. So, I mean, that just based on the color of someone's skin, just that they'd have to work twice as hard, like you just said, that just breaks my heart. I don't know how we get past that, but I love that what you said about being connected and that you take that upon yourself to prove them wrong and to pull them in and kind of retrain their ignorance for something that can be better. Did you find that you were very successful at that in school, like bringing people in and, even though they weren't diversified, that once they met you and loved you, now maybe they're a little more accepting? Did you find that to be true?
Oh yeah, definitely. And like especially in sports and like in football, um, there was a few kids that they started off by saying some racial things, but or I've heard them say racial things, but over time, we kind of grew together and became stronger together, and you know, um, I changed his views on their views on a lot of things. So yeah,
What kind of things were they saying?
um, people would say like, you don't know who you are, pick a side, or they would use the N word, or they would say, um, "You're not the N word. You're like one of the good guys. You're the good ones because I'm like lighter skin tone," and that hurts me the most when people say that because that just hurts.
Yeah. Wow. I didn't know that, Brandon. I'm so sorry. We just, sometimes we don't know and ignorance isn't okay. So I'm very sorry that that happened. I'm very proud of the man that you are, that you took it upon yourself to connect with them and show them that, there's another side and bring them in. So thank you for doing that. That's very much your grandmother would be very, very proud of you for sure. So let me ask you this, Brandon, as we move forward, and obviously Black Lives Matter, what do we do to move the needle in ending racism once and for all? What would you say that we all need to do?
We need to talk about it and educate ourselves on it, and educate ourselves on privilege, and learn to accept it. um, I know a lot of people get mad when they hear the word privilege and white privilege and all, and but it's what we have to do to move on. And we haven't talked about it, and look where we are now.
Right.
And um, but yeah, we definitely need to talk about it more in schools too, and just educate our children about it because what matters the most. That's what's going to change, is if we teach our kids it. you know
Yeah,
so
absolutely. And Brandon, tell us what your feelings are about, obviously there is white privilege. So how does that look? How does that look to you when somebody, when we talk about white privilege, how is that defined from you?
like, how do I define it?
How do you define it, sir?
I define it as that your life isn't treated differently based on the color of your skin, or it's not things are easier for you because of the color of your skin. Um, so that's like, I know that I have privilege too. Like, I admit I have privilege being mixed, you know, and I gotta I work with it too, and I don't want to, but like if I get pulled over with my long hair, I keep a hat in my car so I can put it up, and so I can, you know,
Okay.
so I'm in less danger of something happening.
How do you feel given today's events? Um, and I know that you're very respectful of police. You know that I'm retired, and so I know how you are very, very respectful. But how do you interact? How has your interactions with police been um, throughout your life?
Um, well, seeing everything happen and knowing what happens out there, it 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 scares me every time I get pulled over. Um, they don't do anything themselves when they pull me over. Like, they're all respectful, and I'm thankful that I've gotten the good cops who pulled me over, but I'm still scared. Like, I like shake because I know what could happen, and it could happen with me just reaching to the glove compartment to get, you know, my insurance card. And that's why I ask, can I reach over and get my insurance card? Like, um, but I'm thankful that I haven't had to deal with any bad cops in my lifetime.
Yeah. So you said you get pulled over or have been pulled over a few times. What are you speeding? Do I need to come square you away with all that? You getting pulled over a lot,
No,
Brandon?
no, it's just like once a couple of times my tail light that was out. So
Gotcha, gotcha. So Brandon, are you looking for the future? Obviously, you're going to get married.
hello,
Are you still there?
hello,
Hey, Brandon, I'm still here. Okay, Brandon. So looking for the future, how are you planning to get married and have kids, or how's that looking for you?
oh yeah, I do plan on having kids and getting married.
Good. And so, how will you teach your children to do better? What kind of lessons are you going to teach them?
I'm gonna teach them to not judge somebody just from the way they look, um, and to always take the time to get to know somebody before you make judgments. And
Great.
so,
Yes. I hear my niece and my grandniece there running around. So that's awesome.
yeah,
Hello to them. Brandon, thank you so much. Give us one thing as we exit out here that we can do as a nation that will help end racism. What's your one thing we should do?
just make sure you show love, smile. That's all you can do right now, and just continue the fight.
All right. Well, thank you for what you do every day. Thank you for being such a great advocate. Thanks for just I mean, being my nephew. You're an amazing man, so I appreciate you. But not that you had a choice, right? But I look forward to seeing what you do with the military and how you change that. I look forward to seeing what you teach your children and the next generation. And thanks for sharing this. I know it wasn't easy, especially to talk to somebody you're related to about these things, but I think that talking about white privilege is important and talking about education is important. So thank you, Brandon. And to those of you watching Connected Empowerment, I mean, I think that's the lesson of the day is we need to educate ourselves to be better. Like we heard in the last interview, educate will get rid of any kind of biases that we have and connect, right? Just smile and be nice to people, regardless of if you get along with them or not, regardless if you have anything in common or not. Just smile and be nice. It really should be that simple. So thank you, Brandon. We're going to take that forward. I appreciate your time, and we will talk to you again soon. And Connected Empowerment, just just connect with each other and empower each other, because Black lives do matter. And thank you, Brandon, for being on with us today. Appreciate you.
Thank you.